Hi everyone, my name is Irani. I am a PGY2 Psychiatry Resident in New York City. I'm also a Master Resident Ambassador. This video is my reflection on intern year now that I'm a second year resident. So I wanted to kind of give you a little backstory about why I did psychiatry in the first place, and then my journey to matching, and then I will kind of talk about like the reflections of intern year, what I did well, what I should have done, what I wish I had done better, and then kind of round it off with like the top 3 things I would give you guys as advice if you're starting intern year or applying for residency now. So just to go back into, if people don't know my story and kind of my journey to medicine and psychiatry and matching and things like that. So I didn't have very many interviews. I went to medical school in the Caribbean. I went to St. George's University School of Medicine. And I did my clinical rotations in California. That's the place I saw myself settling down. I wanted to match there. I had family there, friends there, things like that. When match day came around, my number 1 choice was in California. My number 2 choice was in New York. I honestly never thought that I would not get my number 1. I think I became a little too cocky at the end. But so yeah, I ended up matching in New York City. I had to move to New York. I remember crying for 2 weeks, being like, why do I have to move again? I've been moving my whole life and things like that. But long story short, I moved to New York. I really wasn't excited, to be honest. I was scared. I was kind of fed up. I was like, oh, New York is so much work. It's busy. It's dirty. Like, I had to sell my car. You know, I had to take the subway, things like that, which in hindsight were silly. But for me at the time, they were just like a lot of other factors when I was starting residency. So long story short, so I get to New York. I start residency. I didn't really know anyone. I have distant relatives like far from New York, but I didn't have any of like a close community really in New York. And I realized that I had really needed that to get through medicine. And that's what I had in California, which is why I was upset that I had to leave. So I go into residency in New York. I feel pretty confident in my skills and my ability to be an intern, to be a resident, to like see patients independently even. So I wasn't really scared about that, but I did worry about like the social aspects. You know, I didn't want to be depressed, especially around winter time in New York, things like that. So that's basically kind of my journey to residency and to intern year. And then now let's jump to actual intern year. So now I'm a resident in New York. I'm starting intern year. I think some of the things, and this is where like I think I'll reflect a little bit. So I think the qualities that are useful to have is that you have to be confident in yourself and in your ability, but also humble enough to say I don't know, or say I'm not sure, or say I was wrong, I'm sorry. And this is very hard for a lot of people, I think, because you know everyone's ego in medicine is bigger than it should be. You know, and I think it takes a lot of self-reflection and just like confidence and even being wrong, you know. So if you don't know something, it's honestly better to just not say anything or say I don't know than to be the person who's always talking and saying the wrong thing, because there are so many interns that do that. And now that I'm a senior, I see some of the interns and I'm like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. So like, why are you speaking? It just doesn't, it's not a good light. And once you start doing that, you kind of get the reputation of being the resident who is talking but doesn't know what they're talking about, which is not a good look either. So, you know, be confident in yourself, but also like, you know, be quiet sometimes. That's fine. So I think that is the biggest thing. If I had to give advice, is definitely try and figure out that balance. Second of all is you've made it. You're in residency. There is nobody you need to like go above and beyond for. Yes, you have to be a good doctor. Yes, you have to do your responsibilities at work. But if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of any patient. So if that means you are having a bad day and you can't come to work, then you can't come to work. I'm lucky enough to be in a hospital that has CIR, which is the Committee of Interns and Residents, which has fought for years to allow residents to get sick days, to get personal days. I know some of my colleagues in California don't have that liberty, so they don't have sick days. If you're sick, you have to like take it out of your vacation, which is insane. So we get 12 sick days and 4 personal days a year. So 16 days that I can use to my liberty. So if I had worked long hours and I just was going through stuff, I don't feel like going to work, I need a day to clear my head, I would just call out sick, which I don't feel bad about at all, because it makes common sense to do that rather than me coming to work in a bad mood or just overwhelmed and unable to provide quality care to the patient. So the second advice is figure out kind of your boundaries, your limitations, and be kind to yourself and take days off when you need it. Number 3, I think, piece of advice I would give is not everybody at work has to be your friend, which, because I came from California and I kind of like wanted friends, I was trying so hard to make them. I don't know why, because I had like my friends that I would talk to on social media and on the phone and stuff, but I think I wanted like friends in person to like go out with. And I had this image of like getting drinks after work or like going out after work like you see in TV shows. But the reality is very different, is that some people you just work with, and you find that the majority of people you just work with, you don't have to socialize with them outside. I think I was very quick to share personal things with my colleagues, which some of the colleagues didn't really like respect that and keep it private, and before you know it, my personal information was kind of like talked about, not in a positive way, which I didn't really appreciate, which led me to not really associate with certain residents anymore. So if I were you guys, I would just keep my mouth closed. Just put your head down, do your work, be good at your work, because that's your reputation in the hospital matters. But you don't have to tell them who you're dating. You don't have to tell them who your friends are. You don't have to tell them anything that you don't want to. So just keep in mind, also keep in mind that everyone in the hospital talks. So you can't really trust anybody to keep anything private. So only tell people things if you're okay with that information being known by everybody. So those are the big 3 things that I would give you guys as advice. So the first one, just to recap, be confident, be humble. Second thing is take time for yourself. Even if it means judgment from others or snide comments, it doesn't matter, because you are more important. Number 3 is identify friends versus colleagues and keep your mouth closed. So those are the top 3 things. In terms of I think that's basically like the big thing that I think I would give you guys as advice. Everything else, you kind of figure out. You should be very proud of yourself. You've made it this far. It only gets better after this. You get more responsibility. Enjoy what you do. I hope as much as the hours are long, I love going to work. I love working with psych patients. Like my eyes light up every time there's a new patient, somebody interesting. Or the patients are really sweet. Like I feel very privileged to do what I do, but I just I'm saying these things just to make your life at work a little easier, because you do spend so much time at work, so you don't need like drama, you don't need unnecessary tension. So this is my kind of 2 cents about that. But if you need any more advice, or you just want to talk, you can reach out to me on Instagram. The page is at Meher Irani MD, so MEHERIRANI MD, and that's like my professional page where I do like things related to psych residency and stuff. So I hope this is helpful, and to everybody starting soon, I wish you the best of luck. Thank you.